So the last time we had a currency crisis, back in 2011, when Barack Obama was nervous about if he could come up with his next Social Security checks. Remember those good old days? Tellurium was worth $160 an ounce. Gold was where it is right now at around 2,000 an ounce. Oh, 160 a pound, I mean, for tellurium in 2011. Gold was where it was at the time, but tellurium has a lot of room to catch up. Right now it's about $40 a pound, although the premium on physical tellurium is quite a bit higher than that for gold. But right now tellurium is where it was almost 30 years ago, right? Think about all the other metals. Don't you wish you could buy any of the big four precious metals at prices of 30 years ago, right? Palladium was only in the double digits in the early 1990s, if I remember my charts correctly. I remember one time my mom was boasting about how her friend had big spending habits, and she told me that in the early 1990s she was out with her friend, and her friend had spent about $100 on a pair of shoes in 1990. And I remember thinking to myself, gee, if she had just bought an ounce of palladium. This was I want to say I was in my 20s when I heard the story. I had some palladium, and it was now worth $1,000 an ounce. I remember thinking to myself that if my mom's friend had only bought palladium, how many pairs of shoes she could buy today, right? And that's how I speak when I talk to my family. My mom's like, yeah, but I think she wanted the shoes back in 1990. She didn't want to wait until 2020 to have those pair of shoes, right? Or whatever the situation is. The only thing I'm disappointed about tellurium is that it's not very easy to cast into a mold at home. I mean, the melting point is pretty low. The problem is, from all the videos I've watched, when you melt it, a bunch of it oxidizes. I would hate to lose a bunch of my tellurium, not necessarily because it's expensive, but because of how rare it is, and I just hate to have it go to waste. So if anybody can, well, not only because of the rarity, but the environmental effects of mining tellurium, right? If you look at where tellurium sits on the periodic table, just about anything next to it is toxic, and when tellurium is mined, a lot of that stuff is the byproduct of it, right? So if anybody has any suggestions on how to cleanly melt tellurium, feel free to drop a line. I would love to make a crystal out of it, maybe make a Buddha out of it, or better yet, a disc-like finger out of it. Actually, that would be perfect because of how disc-like tellurium is in our society, right? Having that disc-like figure made of tellurium would be a testament to that, right?